There's supposed to be a view out there. Hopefully we get to see it while we're here. Miles drew me a really nice view on the window.
Hopefully it's not the only one you get.
Sad.
We just looked out our window and the clouds were clearing, and it's amazing. Welcome to Waypoint of View. We're Jess and Miles, and we're 2 years into our journey around the world. We're currently on a 1-month road trip in Turkey, and we have just made it out to the far northeast of the country. We're here in Rize, and we have been staying at this guest house for the past couple of nights that is surrounded by tea fields and has an incredible view of the Black Sea. But we're getting back on the road this morning because today we're heading to the highlands.
So this area is actually the heart of the tea producing region here in Turkey. The hillsides are all completely covered in tea fields, and it is really beautiful. Honestly, the weather is not that great this morning, but we are going to drive around a bit because it just so happens to be the last week of tea harvesting, and it is really cool to see all the people out in the fields collecting tea, and we're hoping we might just be able to find somebody to let us get out into the action.
We've been driving around for about an hour now, and it's still raining pretty bad, so we're taking a break, and we just stopped at a tea house.
So we're big coffee drinkers, and we have loved Turkish coffee, and while that is big here, it is nothing compared to the tea drinking culture. Turkish people start drinking tea at breakfast, and it continues throughout the entire day. We have even drank a lot more tea here than we have anywhere else that we've visited. Probably 3 or so cups a day, but that is nothing compared to the 10 or 20 cup average for some people here in Turkey.
From what we understand, Turkish people drink more tea per capita than any other country in the world. And like we mentioned this morning, this area is the highest producing tea region in the country. They harvest 3 times a year, and we just so happen to be here during the last week of the last harvest of this year. They are actively harvesting in this field behind us, so it is time for us to go get in on the action. Can we help you? We help you. Me.
Get out there.
So I've been watching them, and we have these clipper things, and it's attached to this bag, and they trim the top of the leaves, and then it goes into the bag.
You're doing good. We're definitely slowing him down, though.
I know.
Nice.
Yeah?
He's done half of the bush already. Good job, baby.
They're so fast. I am much slower. You wanna try?
Yeah, I'll try. How do you make sure it all goes in the bag? I feel like I'm leaving it all on the bush. I think it's time to give it back to the pros. We missed so much.
They're gonna have to come clean up behind us. We need to let them get back to, yeah.
Oh wow! Ooh, it's heavy. It's the least we can do for slowing them down.
Yeah. How heavy do you think it is?
Probably pretty close to 50 pounds, I'd say.
Nice.
Wow. That is a lot of tea.
Well, we were completely soaked and a little bit muddy, but that was so worth it.
That was a lot of fun.
It really was. But we are getting back on the road and heading towards the highlands.
We are headed up to the small village of Pokut, and from everything we've been told, the last part of the road is pretty bad. Originally, we were thinking we'd still try to drive it ourselves, but with all the rain this morning, we decided it's probably better for us to hire a taxi.
We have left our car behind and we are heading to Pokut. Pokut. One of those. I read that you either needed a 4x4, a high clearance SUV, or a local. Who knows these roads?
We have all of the above.
Is this a 4x4? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. All of the above.
Up until this point, I would have said we could do it, but now it's really muddy and still very steep.
We made it. And we have climbed ourselves completely up into the clouds. Home for the next 2 nights. There's supposed to be a view out there.
Hopefully we'll see it over the next 2 days.
Somewhere around here. Hopefully we get to see it while we're here. Brr! It's really cold here. We're gonna need this extra blanket.
Get my baby a view.
Such a good view. Wow, what
Look
a
at that view. That's right where it's supposed to be, right? Right there. The houses, the mountains.
We're just gonna relax until dinner. Miles drew me a really nice view on the window.
Hopefully it's not the only one you get.
Sad. This place is really cool though, and the couple who owns it is so sweet.
They really are. Did we just have potatoes and honey?
Yeah.
From an old cast iron wood burning stove.
It's really cool. So she brings out this pan of potatoes and then a little thing of honey and butter. We're like, what are we supposed to do with the honey? And she pointed to it and said to put it on the potatoes. So we did. It was good. It was interesting. Well, it is still completely fogged in here in Pokut. We had a tiny bit of hope. First thing this morning, it kind of started to clear. We got this amazing view, but then the clouds came back in and covered it up, probably within a matter of 10 minutes. And now, this is our view.
And it's cold. It is misty and cold.
But we're venturing out.
Yes, we've been inside all day. It's almost 1 o'clock.
So truthfully, we're just hungry. Even though we had a huge breakfast this morning and have done no physical activity, it's time for lunch.
This all looks awesome. We are completely inside a cloud.
The view from here is supposed to be really nice.
Fingers crossed for tomorrow.
While we are most certainly here for the view that we're hopefully going to get tomorrow, the guest house that we are staying at is so cool. It has this cabin feel, so it's pretty nice just to cozy up on a cold, rainy day. That was not enough movement for how much we just ate. We just looked out our window and the clouds were clearing, and it's amazing.
We can definitely see a lot more than we have since we got here.
It's so cool. The clouds are actually coming in and out so fast, and there's these houses lined up along this ridge and mountains in the background, and then there's another village off in the distance. It's honestly even better in person than all of the pictures. I was pretty bummed out earlier today when it was still completely covered in clouds.
And raining.
And raining. And the forecast called for rain the entire day, so I didn't have a ton of hope. So this is a really nice surprise.
The place where we went to lunch today, the guy said he's been here for 4 months and he's seen 16 days of clear weather.
I don't know if that's true.
That's what he said. I
That's
don't know
what
if
he
he means
said,
like
but-
full blue sky, because right now
This is clear enough to me.
We're right between layers of clouds.
Clouds make it so mystic.
There's smoke coming out of the chimneys of the houses. It's beautiful.
It really is. This is a cool, cool village.
I'm glad we came up here.
Yeah, me too.
It was a long drive from Istanbul to get all the way to the highlands of Turkey.
Yes, it was.
But even when you look at it on a map, you can see that this part of Turkey is so lush and green, and the rest of Turkey is just brown. And
It's because it rains so much.
we should have known we'd be in a cloud most of the time we're here. It's beautiful.
It is. Good morning.
Good morning.
We got up for sunrise this morning. It's completely clear. And now the clouds above these mountains are lighting up pink.
There's just a little snow right on the tops of the mountains. We got here just before the sun started to light up the clouds. We thought the color was already over because it was already pretty bright outside when we came out before 6 a.m. But
We got here just in time.
admittedly, I got out of bed and looked out the window and I said, it might be good enough to go outside, but it might be good enough to also go back to bed. But I'm glad we're out here. Well, it's almost time for breakfast, so we're headed back to our place. But that was a beautiful sunrise.
Yes, it was.
And it is October 2nd, which means it has been 2 years since we left on our first one-way flight to Australia.
Crazy. I can't believe that.
It has been a wild ride.
It definitely looks different than what I had thought it was going to be.
And our original goal was to travel for 2 years, but since we were home for a while due to the pandemic, we're going to extend that a little bit.
Extending by a handful of months.
We're not quite done yet. And we're back.
We're going to be getting picked up in about an hour and a half. So we're gonna walk around the village a little bit.
What a perfect morning. Our patience paid off.
It is still sunny out, but the clouds are moving in to the valley actively.
So it seems like this village is primarily geared towards tourists with 5 or 6 different guest houses like the one we're staying in that's about 3 years old. But there are some houses here that are 200 or 300 years old. So while it is primarily for tourists to come here and enjoy these incredible views, it still has the feel of an old mountain village. So it's fun to walk around. Sad to leave, but there's so much more to see here in Turkey.